Hello, welcome to the Freshwater Fibers Knitting and Sewing Podcast. My name is Charlotte. I am coming to you from the beautiful shores of Lake Charlevoix in northern Michigan. And today is Thursday, September 20th, I believe, the last day of summer. It's a little rainy today, which is fine. It has been so miserably hot. The cool mid-60s and rain is fabulous. And let's see, this is my fourth go-round on recording this podcast. I will try to be spontaneous, but I don't know how actors do it. You say you have to act surprised 20 times until they get it right. So here we go. I am not an actor. This is the real thing. And let's see, the first time I recorded using my DSLR for the first time. But I didn't, and I got it on my daughter's computer, and because I like to use iMovie, it's the simplest thing. I'm not a movie maker either, and I didn't like how yellow. I didn't change the settings properly on my phone, so the light was really yellow. So I didn't like that. So I deleted it, and the next day and a half later, I recorded again. And for some reason, the DSLR divides the clips up. I don't know if it reaches a certain size and it starts a new one. So I'm not sure. I've never used it before. So then I recorded it again. This time I put it on my desktop computer and tried to find some non-Apple movie editing software. So if you have a non-Mac, non-Apple based software, if you use a PC to edit your podcast or video, and it's for lay people such as myself who wants it super easy and simple, let me know what you use. So then I realized I had 4 clips. One was 2 seconds long, one was 10 seconds. This is after I'd been talking for an hour, mind you, both times. So then I noticed one clip was 10 seconds long, one clip was 2 seconds long, the third was just a still photo, and the fourth clip was only 6 minutes long. So I had 7.5 minutes worth of video after I'd been talking for the second time through for an hour. So then yesterday afternoon, I decided to record a third time. Wanted to do it directly onto my iPad. Well, I got 10 minutes into it and the iPad memory was maxed out. So then I switched to my iPhone, and by that time, it just wasn't happening. So I'm motivated today. I'm on my phone like I usually record on. Hopefully that won't run out of memory. And I will go through everything and we'll have a fabulous time, okay? All right. Then the trick is getting it on my daughter's computer and editing it. So we haven't won the race yet. But today I have some finished projects. I have a couple of works in progress. I have future knitting things that are kind of jockeying for position in the lineup of what to make next. I have some new Fat Wool Company items to show you, and some new Roberta Ray. These are all apart from the other 3 attempts at podcasting. Roberta Ray fibers, new colors for this fall, some shop updates for Fat Wool and Roberta Ray, and yeah, so let's get right to it. Let's see, so finished objects. The first one I'd like to show you is this fabulous sweater. This is made with, well, let's see, I should probably show you the pattern. And the one benefit of recording 4 times is that each time I thought, oh, this is something I forgot, and talked about it but didn't have the information or didn't have the label or something. So now I should have everything that I have talked about 3 times now around me. So I guess there are silver linings in every storm, aren't there? So here we go. This is the first finished object. This is the Erica Knight Yarn Collection Siena. She makes hers out of her linen, the Erica Knight studio linen. I did not use linen. I used our Roberta Ray Fibers MCN Merino. This is a superwash. Merino cashmere nylon. This is our Quiet Riot colorway. And I held it double with Shibui Silk Cloud. I'm telling you what, any cashmere yarn, well, of course, you would be well served to use Roberta Ray Fibers yarn, would you not? However, any cashmere yarn, merino cashmere, hold it with a silk mohair of some sort, whatever you want. This is Silk Cloud Shibui. Oh, just so soft. And I don't know if you can see the halo, but there's a gort there you might be able to see against the bed. By the way, today I'm in the guest room recording, and I didn't like the light in the craft room, and I've changed the light in here for every single podcast. So anyway, so if you come to stay with us, this is your room. But anyway, the front is made in one solid piece, the back is made in one solid piece, and then you piece at the shoulders and under the arms. Oh, it's fabulous. I love it. I wore it yesterday. It was cool enough that I could wear this over a long sleeve t-shirt. You could certainly do a tank, you know, anything. Anything. And the neat thing, let me see if you can see. So it starts from the bottom up until about right here. You use a 3.75 millimeter needle, and then you switch to a 5.5 millimeter needle to finish the rest. With the linen, the difference is very obvious. It's not so obvious holding these yarns double, but you can still see it there. And a pretty quick knit. It's warm, it's silky, the drape is really nice. It's not a linen drape, but it still has a very nice drape. Very comfortable to wear, so very excited with that. The second finished object, which you have seen before in progress, the Wintersole. The Wintersole sweater. This is my first colorwork sweater. I made the arms nice and long so they fit wonderfully. And since the last attempt at recording and today's, I did find another label, a complete label for the yarn. I've shown this before. Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play carpet bag. It's 80% superwash merino and 20% silk. And it is a single. 240 yarns, so it's I would call it a DK. It could be a light worsted. And let's see, so Greystone is the gray, Spun Gold is the gold, and I have no idea what the purple is. But I had purchased this thinking I was making another project, but I wasn't sure, and then decided to make this. Oh, if you want to see, here's my color work, my floats on the inside. I'm not a tight knitter, but I'm very consistent throughout my projects as far as gauge and how I hold the yarn on the needle and things. So I was worried that I wouldn't have enough yarn to properly space the floats. And so what I did as a beginner, like this, I've made the mittens, which I've shown you, but this is my first sweater. And so when for instance, you can see the yellow up here. So from here to here, I would do 2 or 3 stitches of the gray, twist the gray and the yellow, keep so that the yellow is tacked down. I would pull a little extra here so it didn't gape, but just, you know, wasn't tight. Finish my gray, and then I would put my finger, wrap the yellow around it, and then do my next stitch so that, I mean, they weren't gaping. I mean, you could see that some of them there's a lot of extra play in there, probably too much, but I guess I'd rather have that on the inside of the sweater than too tight on the outside of the sweater. But I will quickly, and yesterday the Labrador sky barked and barked and barked, so we shall see. She usually is good for at least one outburst while I'm podcasting. Now I've got this heavier turtleneck thing on, so normally I won't be wearing a turtleneck with it. But I love it. It's fabulous. Get my hair out of the way. And then you can see the arms. So I've got lots of wonderful length on the arm. Not too short. Here's the bottom hem. But yeah, I love it. Very pleased with this. So the Winter Sole, and I do like the yarn. Again, it has a nice, it's just so soft. Like I would imagine wearing this with like maybe a silk tank top or a silk camisole or something underneath when it's not quite chilly. But it'll just, yeah, the drape is nice. It's cuddly. So Winter Sole. Very happy with that. And let's see, so, oh, yeah, there's a story, there they go, behind the first one, the cashmere Shibui silk. So I've shown this before. I got this at Spun Arbor in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I have used this. It's like a Lazy Susan, but a spindle on for your yarn. I use this when I'm holding yarns double. The Veronica Cardi I held with Shibui silk. So I make sure that the yarns are both coming off the skein in the same direction. And I put that one there. So I had it like this. And then just take them off. Double, whoops. If I let go, it'll spin. So that's how I hold my yarns double. And it's highly convenient, and I have large enough project bags. This sticks right in the project bag. Well, this was sitting on the coffee table. Our main floor is upstairs, so it was upstairs on the coffee table. I was doing something, I don't know, and I walked out downstairs by the front door, and I see the ends of the yarn at the front door, and I look up the stairs. This went all the way up the stairs. And I thought, that dog unraveled my project. It was almost that bad. I walk up the stairs, she had grabbed it, this had all come off. The cashmere was basically fine, unhurt. This skein, which was a brand new skein, was a tangled mess. And I only had one. I was able to salvage one. The project itself was still fine, it was still on the needles, but it had gotten caught under the chair, side chair upstairs, but it was still on the needles. So Clark is scratching the door. I have no idea why. Hang on just a second. I better go see. Okay. I'm back. All right. No, you go lay down. So, I salvaged what I could. Started looking online for another skein of yarn. Nobody had Shibui Silk Cloud in ash anywhere. I looked at Spun Arbor, I looked at Unique Knits. They're in Royal Oak, Michigan, online. I looked at yarn.com. I looked at Espace Tricot in Montreal. Nobody had ash, and I thought, what am I going to do? Well, of course, I could have used another color very close. Nobody would have known, but I wanted ash. So another day, I pull out my miscellaneous yarn bucket because I wanted to check for another weight of yarn. Move something out of the way, and what do I find? A brand new, unused skein of Shibui Silk Cloud in ash, the exact color that I needed. So if you use Shibui Silk Cloud, you recognize this is now their label. And the yarn that I pulled out of my stash had this label, which when I do the math, because then I wondered, well, why in the world do I have this skein of ash? And there was a little remnant in there also. And then I remembered 6 years ago, my husband's sister got married, and one of our daughters was in the wedding as a junior bridesmaid, and I had crocheted, I wasn't a knitter at the time, I had crocheted this for her to wear with her bridesmaid's dress. This is crocheted in Shibui Silk Cloud. And it has the smoky crystals on the bottom there. So I couldn't believe it. And then during my first podcast, I said I just tried this on. My daughter was 10 at the time. But then I thought, oh my goodness, I can actually wear this. I mean, you put all this work into something so gorgeous, you don't want it to just sit in the closet. Because of course, you know, she's 16 now. She was not going to touch something she wore when she was 10. But I thought, oh my gosh, there you go. I have another capelet. But isn't it pretty? So pretty. Don't ask. I have no idea what the pattern is. Wouldn't even know where to look. So that's why I ended up having the extra skein of Shibui Silk Cloud in my stash. So yay, I was able to finish. So there you go. That is it for the finished projects. Next, let's go to works in progress. So now, we went somewhere and I needed just a quick in-your-purse, easy little project to take along, so I started a pair of self-striping socks. And I think I've shown this yarn before. This is Valkyrie Fibers. And this was her one-of-a-kind mystery dye pre-order for Halloween last year, 2017. And it's called Frank's Laboratory. 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 463 yards. So I split the yarn in half. And I am doing Arne and Carlos's Easiest Sock in the World. Those are fun. Just basic stockinette. So, and this is a free pattern. Arne and Carlos have a ton of free patterns on their blog, so arneandcarlos.com. And I have made their sock pattern before, and I've told you all about my ridiculously skinny feet. And so they use 16, you start with 4 stitches on your per needle and increase every other row until you get your desired width. Well, they use 16. That was too big for me, so I went to 14. And then you go straight up. Stop 2 inches from the back of your heel. I wanted an afterthought heel because the toes charcoal, I'd like to use a charcoal heel. And so there's my waist yarn, and then you keep going. I'm trying to use the yarn up. I plan on stopping the stockinette, or starting the rib, I should say, when I have 5 or 6 colors left. And then I should get, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that gives me maybe 1.5 inches of ribbing. So maybe I should do 6 colors. But anyway, So I keep going, and then so about here I decided to start increasing for the calf, and I did a make one right and a make one left every 6 rows. And then now I figure it's, I know, look how skinny it is. I figure that's good enough now for my calf, and now I'm going straight up for the rest. I know other knee sock, this is not quite a knee sock, so I'm not going to decrease. I know others, once you go past your calf and back towards the knee, they would decrease a little. I won't have enough yarn for that, but anyway. So here we are, a sock in progress. Now my other work in progress, I'm going to wait until I get to the fat wool section of our podcast. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you our Roberta Ray fiber tag. Is it gonna focus? Don't know. Hopefully that's focusing for you to see. Anyway, and that was Quiet Riot on our fingering weight. Okay, future want to make projects. So here's one. I have the Shetland Wool Week Annual 2016. They put out this publication every year for their Shetland Wool Week Festival. And they have an article in here. It's a traditional garment in the Shetlands called a spencer. And let me see if there's another picture of it, or it just starts back here. I think it just starts back here. And pretty much they were undergarments knitted to keep you warm. And so that's a vintage spencer, the white one. And then they have a pattern for a sleeveless spencer. So this is on my list to make, and seeing it as that it's the end of September, and the Farmer's Almanac is calling for a for biting cold in February for the Great Lakes region, I thought maybe I should get on this. And so I bought some Shetland wool for it when we were in Edinburgh. Jamieson and Smith, this little guy here. Lace weight, fine Shetland wool with a touch of lamb's wool. And this says materials, Shetland lace wool, lace weight, approximately 50 grams. This is 50 grams. I'm shocked that I can make a vest-shaped garment in a little 50-gram ball. And I realize it's lace weight. How many yards are here? It's only 185 yards. But I did buy 2 just in case, because it's not like I can turn around and run down to this corner store in Shetland or Edinburgh and buy another one. And nobody around me sells this at all. I know that there's a store online that stocks the Jamieson and Smith. Can't remember what it is. So that's an item on my list. Here's another one. When I was at Unique Knits in Royal Oak, which is a fabulous store, large inventory, a lot of different brands, very modern with it, projects and publications and things, lots of Shibui. I think they cover all the Shibui line. I found this yarn. Isn't this beautiful? Twisted Owl Fiber Studio, Longview, Texas. This is Luxe Sock. 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon, 150 grams, and it's called Lazer Floyd. And I got 2 of these. Didn't know what I was going to make with it at the time, but I've got 2 of them. And then I thought, because I'm on this Shibui silk kick and I want to hold it double with just about everything, I got 2 skeins of the Shibui Silk Cloud in bone. So I brought these home. No idea what I was going to make. And I know the lighting's still bad. Oh, one of these days. So there we go. And then on the good old Instagram, Here we go. I think the wind changed direction. So, Magnolia Summer. The original pattern that came out was a long sleeve sweater. It's by Camilla. Yep, Camilla Vad. She's from Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. Then she had the short sleeve sweater, and now there's a hat pattern. And so I saw this and I said, okay, that's gonna be this. So that's on the to-do list. Very excited about that. Are we still recording? Yes! Okay. All right. And, aha, so here's another one. I bought at Edinburgh Yarn Festival Hedgehog Fibers DK, and the store about 40 minutes from me has closed, so the next closest store to me is an hour away. But the Petoskey store did have a smattering of Hedgehog Fibers sock yarn, and so I saw these lovelies in Edinburgh and I just had to get them. So we have, and I should have these memorized by now because this is the 4th time I'm doing this, Nightride, Guppy, and Oracle. And I've been, I just can't wait to use them. I love these colors. And then I was watching a couple of podcasts, I think it's 3 podcasts ago now, Grocery Girls, Jody made Locatelli's Slow Curves in DK. And I was like, oh, I've got DK, I could do that. And Jody put the dark color on top and then went down to the lighter color. Excuse me, gosh, I just had lunch. And here's the Slow Curves pattern. And the pattern it's a fingering weight pattern, but I'm not doing fingering weight shawls this year, remember? So this is fingering weight, and she uses 4 colors. So, and I remember Jody saying that she kind of ran out of yarn, and so I thought, well, I probably need a little bit more yarn. So then I have this. This is a Roberta Ray Fibers. It was like the end of the mill run for our yarn. This is our custom base, Roberta Ray, Michigan, and this is worst light. This is worst. No, yeah, worst. No, I believe this is the sock weight. So it's like a heavier sock, and Witchy Couture, which we do have this in a couple of bases right now. And purple and green, and this is only 80 grams, so we don't have it in the store for the full 100-gram skein, but we have it. Either we'll use it, or if a customer wanted a little bit extra, you know, we could have this. But then I thought, okay, well, what if I did that? So I like it. I do like it, and I have it laying out on my craft table, and every time I go in the craft room, I look at it. Yep, I still like it. But it wasn't cast it on right now, but I like it. So then, but I really wanted to work with DK. It's fall, and I don't want to do any fingering weight shawls right now. Earl Grey tea, by the way. And so then I remembered, wait, I've got La Bien-Aimée weight yarn from Edinburgh. What if I did this? So the bottom, this is her Merino Sport, 355 yards, 100% merino. This is Ayre, A-Y-R-E. So what if I did that? This one is Grellow. Oh, honestly. And my dog has been walking around and mouthing my yarn, so there's dog on it. Peanut butter and jelly, and I was getting excited even more than the DK, even though it's close to fingering weight. There's some yellow in the peanut butter and jelly, And then I thought, okay, I need a fourth color. What do I do? I got out I have one basket that has miscellaneous yarn in it and one of those rectangular handled bags that has my fingering weight yarn on it. So I got the fingering weight yarn out and I found this. And that was it. Boom! That just happened for me. This to me is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely stunning. I can hardly even stand it how excited I get over these colors together. This last yarn is a Whimsical Wood yarn company, Pixie Toes Sock, 463 yards. It's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. And the color is Your Entirely Bonkers, a Whimsical Wood. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, baby, this is the bomb. I love this. But then I keep looking at the pattern and I thought, well, but is that the shawl I want to make? And I was on Ravelry again yesterday and I thought I had saved another shawl that I thought, oh, this would be a better shawl for this yarn. And I didn't see anything there that struck me. So far, now I've got my yarn and I'm still looking for the proper shawl. So I like the Hohi shawl. I just don't know if that's the right one. Anyway, let's see. Okay. And I might squeeze this out really fast. Actually, I've made 4 sweaters this year because I also did the Veronica Cardi. So that's awesome. We picked up this pattern in Edinburgh at the Toft booth. This is their Cobblestone Hat. And so they had little kits for it. Again, my dog. So my main color is gray. My other color, can't think of it, change color, whatever it is, second color is the white. This yarn is 100% wool, made in the UK, 25 grams. Toft, cream and silver. But a DK hat, I might need to whip this sucker up. And then they also had pom-poms. So the kit came with a pom-pom. So I got white. These are Toft pom-poms. Made in Peru, 100% alpaca. The inner is polyester. So that fuzzy little guy there. I also got extra for future hats. So I got a gray one, the white one, and this beautiful champagne color. So those are the 3 pom-poms that I got. And I got 2 white ones, but this one looks a little bedraggled because the lab puppy decided to pull out of my craft room and chew on it. So now and I rinsed it off and let it dry, so I don't know if it needs to be brushed a little or combed. But that's why that one looks a little discombobulated. All right. So that's it for future projects. Let's get into my new fat wool items. So at my art shows, I have had a lot of requests for hats. Well, I've made 2 hats. And just recently though. And the yarn is so darn thick, and some of it is pretty dense and not very malleable. I didn't know malleable. Didn't really know if a hat would work, so I just tried some out. And this probably is the most popular one so far. And I've got my label on here, Fat Wool Co. Merino Corriedale are the sheep. They're Merino Corriedales. And farm is in Bel Air, Michigan. Just ignore the price tag there. I don't know if you can. Whoop. Honestly, I will have the warmest head. You will have the warmest head if you buy one of my hats. But here's this one. And these are unisex, male and female. So I guess I have an average size head. This one sits a little higher on my head, so maybe a smaller head, or maybe if you don't like a lot of hat down on your face. My girls say it makes me look like a mushroom, so I don't know. They're super warm. So there's that one. Good thing I didn't do my hair today. This one is larger, so this would be this would be for a larger head, and maybe a man with a larger head, or somebody who has a ton of hair that they pile up. At this point, it's not really slouchable. This yarn is a little stiffer, but of course it will relax over time. So, oh, I'm getting low on battery. We'll see. If it gets down to 5%, I will stop once again and go get my cable. But we're more than halfway through, I think. So I'm just showing off product now. And then there's this white one with the stripes. And so again, this one also fits a little larger. As you can see, it's like covering my face. But for a larger head, this one's a little softer. You could eventually get it to slouch. So those are my hats. And then I also have cowls. I consider these unisex also. It's a circular scarf. They're all different. They are meant to be nice and tall. I mean, if it's going to be biting cold in February, I will be here. This is where I will be. But again, you can curl it down, you can slouch it down, you can eventually get it to soften up so it hangs a little bit more. But this one's black and white. And this one, not quite as tall. It's a little wider, I think. The nice stripe there. This one is the dark brown. Okay, so, I mean, oh my gosh, see, I love things around my neck, especially when it's super cold. And this one's the narrowest. So, this one's nice too. So, you know, if it gets really bad, you know, you might see me leave the house. I mean, I don't like to be cold. So here you go. Those are the new fat wool products. Hats and cowls. They are now listed in the store, fatwoolco.com. And let's see. Yep, all right. And I'm very excited. If you have watched, you may recall my Carbeth cardigan, my Pride and Joy that was made with Daughter of a Shepherd yarn from the Shetlands in Scotland. And it inspired me, oh my gosh, so I make fat wool yarn. Why don't I also make worsted and heavy worsted yarn and sell just the yarn? I'm not good with the fat wool. I make finished items for sale. With this yarn, I will just sell the yarn. So I'm so excited to show you. I have Fat Wool Co. Oh, you can hardly see the black. Worsted. This is the worsted weight. I have 3 colors. This is a fleece this dark, and this is not dyed. This is the natural color off the animal. This is considered a black fleece, and actually it's almost the same exact color as my Carbeth cardigan. You can see it's not what you would think of as black that you get when it's dyed, or like my shirt even. It's like a deep espresso brown. Just very pretty. Very nice mid silvery gray. There's almost a hint of a tan to it, but it's definitely gray. And then the natural white. 225 yards per skein. I'm working on the listings for the store, but those will be up soon. And these are limited quantities. I'm just trying this out. I'm learning as I go, and you know, trying to see if there's interest. So, you know, I'd love it if you tried some, made something. If you do try it and make something, let me know. Did you like the yarn? How does your item look? And then heavy worsted. I don't know that I would actually call it bulky, but it's definitely a lot bigger. These are almost 200 grams. 225 yards again. in the same colors. So again, some colors have more skeins available than others. It just depended on the amount of wool I had from the farmer. All the wool for these came from a farm in Bel Air, Michigan. So that's really exciting. And of course, I could not wait. So I had to cast something on with the heavy worsted just to see, and of course to have a sample at a show or something. So the wonderful ladies at Espace Tricot, Melissa and Lisa, when they design a pattern, they are available for free on their Ravelry page. And so I chose Getting Warmer. This is by Melissa. It's a nice cowl. I mean, all winter long my neck is covered. So that's why I'm showing you all these things that completely cover your neck. The pattern is written for Woolfolk Luft, which is 55 merino, 45 cotton, 109 yards per skein. So that's close to my heavy worsted. She needed 3 skeins. I'd really like to get this done with just 1 skein because I don't want to use all the skeins up myself. And so I have this started. So I never pull from the center, but I decided to cake this one up, and I'm trying pulling from the center. I don't know, the whole thing just gets loose anyway, and then the outside gets baggy. So usually I just pull from the outside, and with my yarn caddy, you stick it on there and it just goes around in a little whizzer circle there. But anyway, but yeah, that's how big the yarn cake is. And I have started. So you work from the bottom up, and I'm using the needles that she said. I don't know that it's meant to go around your shoulders, but it's, if I stretch it, it might. It's hard to tell on the shorter cable needle. I'm using my ChowGoo interchangeable, which I absolutely, absolutely love. And there we are. So that's my exciting news. Fat Wool Company's own worsted and heavy worsted yarn. So I'm trying to get that in the store here, lickety split. I'm just working out a few more details on that. Oh, so let's move. That was it for Roberta Ray. Oh, no. Back here. I also have stroller blankets in the store. There will be an exciting announcement coming up that involves my stroller blankets and my rugs. But for now, they are in my store. And so these are 100% merino wool. And they're roughly 30 by 36 inches, roughly. One amazing heirloom quality gift. This is not a blanket that your toddler should be allowed to drag around or use as their special blankie, you know, that they cannot part with and carry everywhere. That is not what this blanket is for. But an extra special gift to pamper the new baby. And it's 100% merino wool, so it's soft on a baby's skin. And I have the green. I have this lovely corally hot pink. I have a lovely, and this is dyed, it's not the natural color, the charcoal. And then, of course, you have to do a solid white. So then this one is just all white. But those are also in the store, fatwoolco.com. Right now. Okay. So we're doing great. I don't have another battery message on my phone yet. I'm going to show you our new latest Roberta Ray fibers, colors, and update you on our shows. I do have a short sewing project and we're done. So this is great. Okay, so we shall start with cashmere. This is our cashmere line. We've got a great mid-gray tonal. We have another dye lot of the Quiet Riot that I made my Erica Knight sweater out of. We have a new colorway. This one is called Cider Mill. I don't know which way is best to show you, but there we go. Maybe like that. Okay. All right. This is Roberta Ray sock. Our Roberta Ray Michigan line of yarn is wool that comes from wool that we purchased from the farmer. Again, this is from Bel Air, Michigan. And we have the yarn custom spun for us at a fiber mill here in town where I live. So that would be a nice striped sock. And it's a little heavier sock than usual. I would call it a heavy sock. It is not, it's thicker than a fingering sock. So there you go, that one's great. We have a really nice gray with just muted hits of colors. Very soft palette on that one. And then we have our worsted, Roberta Ray worsted line of sock. I'm sorry, this is this is Roberta Ray Michigan in worsted weight. So those are great. We have that. And then a gray with pops of bright yellow. Again, that is worsted in our Roberta Ray Fibers Michigan. Okay, let's see. Oh, and then we have DK. These are, again, this is a gray with the pops of bright yellow, but this is DK weight. So there's that. That's a worsted, and that's DK. This is also a DK. This one's already open, so I'll just, nice bright green with the blue. Some flecks of red in there. There we go. So that one's great. A couple of tonals. DK and a blue. So these are both DK. We also have a gray in DK. So really great accent colors for your striping, whichever. Let's see. Oh, we've got the Cider Mill also in DK. There's this guy here. Really a lot of fun colors. Oh, I showed you that one. Okay, and then we have some fingering. That one's nice. A nice, gosh, just a really pale gray background. Little hits of color. That one's really nice. They're all really nice. Why would I be showing to you if I didn't think they were nice? I can't wait till somebody knits with this one. This is a nice striper. This is our sock yarn. So you'll definitely have, if I should do the gray on the outside, that'll help with the light. So it kind of gets lighter on one end and dark intense on the other end. So that one would be fun for the big gray and yellow kick right now. Of course, I don't even think it's a kick. I think those will be classic colors that will always, always be favorites and always go together. So, let's see. Yeah, she did 4 of those. Okay. So, that is it for yarn. We have a Roberta Ray Fibers Wool Festival coming up. It is the Northern Michigan Lamb and Wool Festival in West Branch, Michigan. That will be next weekend, September, I believe it's the 27th and 28th, whatever that Saturday, Sunday is, at the fairgrounds in West Branch. So if you're in the area or need a road trip, come on out and see us. There's a campground there. We will be camping with Blue Betty. If I haven't shown you Blue Betty yet, I don't think I have. We will try to do a video while we're there so you can see my camper. It's a 1958 Bowles, B-O-L-E-S, Aero Zenith. A lot of fun. So we will be out in Blue Betty, and let's see. Then, so that's the end of September. The end of October, Roberta Ray Fibers will be at the Ann Arbor Fiber Expo, which is the end of October this year, again, the 27th, 28th, whatever that Saturday, Sunday is, at the fairgrounds down in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We will be there. November 10th, Saturday, November 10th, we have a trunk show at the Yarn Stop in Clawson, Michigan, which is just outside of Detroit. So lots of opportunities to come out and see us. These new colorways are not in the shop yet. They would, if there's anything left after next week's show, we will put it on our Etsy store. If you think that if there was something here that you saw and you just have to have it but can't see us, send us a message. We'll help you out there. It's just the whole process of creating all the listings on Etsy when we've had new colors sell out at a show before. And so then you go through all of that and create the Etsy listing and pay the fee, and then it's all gone. So that's why we're waiting until after the show for the new colors. For Fat Wool Co. Company, I have a huge show coming up December 6, 7, 8, 9. I will have a booth at the One of a Kind show in downtown Chicago, Illinois. And it's at the Mart, I believe. It's my first time there. I understand it's this huge, massive show. There's like 600 vendors or something there. I don't know. But I will be there. The One of a Kind show, the Fat Wool Company. So if you're in the Chicago area or again need a road trip, go to the show. You'll find lots of great things and stop by and say hi. And you can try on a hat. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. So that's it for shop news. And so if you're done with yarn and knitting, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed my 4th attempt at recording, assuming this makes it on air. And so now I just wanted to quickly share my current sewing project. I actually started this 2 years ago. I thought that I would make a Halloween quilt in about 4 weeks before we were going Halloween camping. No, did not happen. And I hardly worked on it all last year. And then I thought I needed a break for my hands with all the knitting, and I thought, hey, let's do some sewing. I haven't done any sewing in a while. So I'm making a spiderweb quilt, appropriate enough for Halloween. So this is what each block looks like. I am not following any particular pattern. I have the triangular ruler, and I'm using that. I cut out all my strips in so small, you know, from graduating sizes. I have them in sandwich bags labeled 1 through 7. So when I'm ready to sew, I just reach for bag number 1, I put out 4 pieces. And then I reach for bag number 2 and so on until I get all my triangles. I do chain stitching where you just keep on going. You don't stop between and take it out between each block. And then you cut it down to size. The only seams that I am making sure that I match are where the background fabrics meet here and where the background fabrics meet in the very corner. That's it. Wherever, I'm not paying any attention at all to make sure the stripes meet. That's not the point of this particular project. I have the very first quilt that I showed you, if you've been watching for a while, that was hand quilted. That one I made sure, I tried my hardest to make sure every seam everywhere matched. So I'm not doing that this time. I'll try to put in a picture of my design wall in my sewing craft room where I have these blocks hanging on the wall so you can see the large effect. But when you put the blocks together, you can start to see how you get a spider web. I don't know how large I'm going to make it. I'm just making the blocks, and it's certainly not going to be official queen size or double size or anything like that. I'll probably make it not quite queen. I'll probably make it between a double and a queen. And then I can't wait to use it in the camper. Then I got all excited. Well, maybe I could have it done for the West Branch show when we use the camper. that's next weekend. I am not getting a quilt done and quilted, especially my husband and I are leaving tomorrow for the weekend, so there's no way. But anyway, I just wanted to show off my latest sewing project. It's a quilt. If you have questions, let me know. I breeze through all that like you know what I'm talking about. So if you do have quilting questions, of course, there's lots of places you can go. I've been quilting for 27 years. So that sounds like crazy. Am I really old enough to have done something for 27 years? That's weird. Okay, holy smokes. I think we got through everything I wanted to talk about today. I've shown you yarns. We did projects. We did finished projects. We did works in progress. I got my fat wool stuff out. We talked about Roberta Ray. Hot dog. I finally got this recorded and my phone hasn't lost battery yet. Now the trick is getting it on my daughter's computer and editing it and getting it actually loaded onto YouTube. So if you see this, I will be like, woohoo, because it made it to YouTube. I was so disheartened yesterday. The third try. I've been talking for 2.5 hours. I mean, over the 3 attempts. I was like, I don't think I can do this again. But we did. We powered through. So thank you. I hope you watched till the end to make all of this worth it. If you have any questions, please let me know. freshwaterfibers@gmail.com. And you can reach me at fatwoolco.com. Or fatwool, that's my website. fatwoolco@yahoo.com for email. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. Roberta Ray Fibers is robertarayfibers@gmail.com, and we are also on Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Happy knitting, sewing, crocheting, whatever it is you do for your craft. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.